And hello and welcome back to the NFL Quick Talk podcast. As always, you can find the show on YouTube and Spotify. Subscribe and follow. We are continuing our quest to 100 subscribers. So please be one of the first 100. I promise you won't be the last. We are already almost halfway there. And as I said before, the Patreon page is open for $1 a month. You can get exclusive benefits, access to posts and videos that you wouldn't normally get otherwise. Today we will be previewing the Chiefs versus the Lions game Thursday night this week, and it will be an awesome game. And I'm just so excited for football to be back. I mean, I've been watching college ball this past week or so, but the NFL is a whole different animal, and I'm very glad to see it back. Let's get right into analyzing Chiefs versus Lions. Firstly, we will go over the injury report. There was a lot listed, but everyone seems to be ready to go except for these players that I'll name now. Travis Kelce, he's been all over the news. I'm sure you've heard about it. The hyperextended knee, he's a game time decision. The X-rays were negative on any type of ACL tear or any tear in any ligament. So what does that mean? That means that he will be ready to go by next week at the latest. Even if this Thursday night game was played on Sunday, he would have a much better chance of playing. I'm. They're saying that he could play. He couldn't play multiple sites. My take on it is that he will possibly not play just to save it from being torn into something bigger and thus ending his season. So I think that they rest him for this game or play him in a limited type of play. Needless to say, that is a huge loss for this Chiefs defense. The hookup between him and Patrick Mahomes is one of the best in the league, and I do think that it will impact this game tremendously. Also, Kadarius Toney, wide receiver 1 for the Chiefs, left practice Tuesday. He's also a game time decision due to a reoccurring knee problem. On the Lions side, cornerback Emmanuel Mosley was limited in practice coming off his ACL tear from last season. Sources say that he will probably not play this week. Again, for more the same reason like Travis Kelce, you want him to be there for a lot of for the majority of the season. So you wouldn't want to risk it being retorn or in Travis Kelce's case, torn, just so that he plays this game, but then a tear would end his season, stuff like that. And that is the injury report. Most everyone else is healthy. And let's go on to the next scenario. Chris Jones, the best player on the Chiefs defense, is not on the 53-man roster. What does that mean? That means that he will most likely not play in the game versus the Lions due to a holdout that I have described and broken down earlier on previous videos. If you've been watching the channel for a while, you'd know about it in depth, but just the lowdown is that he wants more money. That's step number 1. Step number 2, he's been holding out in camp, and step number 3, he hasn't been playing in the preseason, leading everyone to say, let's pay this player because he's the best on the team. Chiefs don't really want to do that, so he will not play this week. Most likely, I'd give it a 90% chance he does not play this week. There's a 10% chance that he might play, but still the odds are that he will not play this week. Moving on to the actual game predictions, I do think that I give the slight edge to the Detroit Lions in this game, but it is very close. It is really 50-50, but I do think I give that slight edge to the Lions because of these late injury reports with Kadarius Toney and Travis Kelce both probably not play, and the fact that I think that the Chiefs, still coming off of a Super Bowl high, if they lose this game, it will bring them a lot down to earth, and I think in the long run, it may actually benefit them because it will give them that wake up call. We're not just going to steamroll every team in the league. we got to be able to fight for these games. And I know that they know that, but I think a loss here psychologically helps them a lot more than a win does. I don't know a whole lot about psychology though, so what do I know? Anyway, moving on to the actual game, I do think that this game goes down to the wire. I think it'll be high scoring with the Lions offense being what it is, very prolific, um very business like, march down the field, score, march down the field, score. And the Chiefs offense being led by the dynamic Patrick Mahomes, he needs no introduction. But if I were to give a score projection for this game, a lot of people, I personally hate score projections because it's wrong 99.9% of the time. But if I were to give one, it would be something like 34-31 Lions. But that will probably be wrong. I just think that it's a close game to that effect. All right, the last issue that we will address in this episode of the NFL Quick Talk podcast is, by now, I hope that you aren't new to the channel through this video specifically, because I have done predictions and breakdowns for every single team in every single division. They're just clumped in the divisions. So my last one that I did is the AFC North. And then I did the AFC West, AFC South, AFC East, respectively, in that order. And then I did the NFC before that. If you haven't watched those, go check them out. This is where I'm getting my playoff teams and their first rounds. But the way I have it set up in the AFC, I have the Bengals as a first round bye. The number 2 seeded Chiefs will play the number 7 seeded Ravens in Arrowhead. The number 3 seeded Bills will play the 6th seeded Steelers in Buffalo, and then the 4th seed, the Jaguars, and the 5th seed Chargers playing that other wild card game. I do think that Jaguars and Chargers will rematch from last season is a very good game to keep your eye on if it does happen. And on the NFC side, I have the Eagles as a first round bye, the Lions with the number 2 seed playing the number 7 seeded Vikings in Detroit, matchup of the NFC North there. The number 3 seeded 49ers playing the number 6 seeded Seahawks. That would be a very interesting third game of the season because they already played 2 because they're in the NFC West. And then I have the 4th seeded Saints playing the 5th seeded Cowboys, a very interesting game as well if that does come to fruition. And those are my playoff teams, and that would be the setup for the playoffs, the way I have it predicted. Again, if you haven't watched those videos, go back and watch them. I strongly suggest it. Thank you guys for watching all the way through to the end. If you haven't already, please subscribe. We are trying to get to triple-digit subscribers. That would be 100. We're doing a pretty good job of that so far, but we can always use more. I promise that you will not be the last subscriber if you do decide to subscribe. And if you're on Spotify, make sure you're following us and giving us a 5-star review as well. The Patreon page, as I said, is open. Link in the description. I'll be doing stuff like making betting tips, stuff like that. Only $1 a month. It's really easy. And we'll have a great time over there. So thank you guys for watching. I will be doing a lot more game reactions and game previews as the season progresses. I'll work out a schedule for that really soon. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys on the flip side.